Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Low IQ Media here. And join me today as I show you my weekly movie pickups. So let's get to it. This is a half price book haul, and it's just kind of a weekly movie update. It's probably the last couple weeks, really, of things I've got in, but I've got stuff from Amazon, I've got stuff from eBay, and just for some reason I've got into a big buying frenzy here lately, and I've bought a bunch of stuff. I think a couple weeks ago I was like, man, I haven't bought any Kino Lorber in a while, so I need to buy some Kino Lorber. And I guess we'll start out today with my half price book haul, and it actually came from two different half price books. They're two different ones I go to in Lexington, Kentucky, and one store is a little bit better than the other for different things. One seemed like it has better laser discs. Neither store really had any great laser discs. I did pick up a couple. I guess we can start with those, really. And then they're back behind me here, and we'll start out with them real quick, and I'll let you guys check these out. But I probably won't get too much detail about all this stuff, but this first one is June Allison and Peter Lawford. This was called Good News. Let's see here. I was going to try to see who directed it. It looks like it is directed by Charles Walters, produced by Arthur Reed. Obviously got Peter Lawford, June Allison, Patricia Marshall, Joan McCracken, Ray McDonald, Mel Torm. And I'm sure I would recognize some of these people. I'm bad with names. Everybody knows this. I'm bad with remembering who these actor names. I'm more of a director man. I like kind of following the directors. Obviously, I know like the big name guys, Bogart, people like big name actors. And then, but I'll always be watching movies and like, man, I've seen him in like so many movies. Especially you watch a lot of film noir, or you watch it, and just in the old days of movies, you've seen a lot of you saw a lot of studios had their own stable actors. So if you watch like Columbia, a lot of movies from Columbia, you're probably going to see a lot of the same character actors and stars from those movies in them. So we'll move on here. The next one here is a pretty cool looking cover. This is Arrowhead, Charlton Heston. This looks like let's see who directed this one. I've got my new glasses so I can actually see a little bit. The lighting's not too amazing right now. This is written for the screen and directed by Charles Marquez Warren. Charles Marquez Warren. I've heard of him before. I probably should know what else he's done, but he did Arrowhead. He did Arrowhead for sure. This one is $2.99 for this movie, and I don't think I showed you the reverse of the last. But there's the reverse. I'll have to get online and actually look at the original aspect ratio for this movie. Let's see what year it came out. This was 63, so it was probably definitely widescreen. I highly doubt that this is widescreen. The earlier laser discs were mostly pan and scan stuff. It's kind of aggravating, but sometimes these old ones like this, I'll go ahead and pick up even in this condition. I'm not even sure if this was ever re-released on widescreen. It was being a Charlton Heston movie, but we'll be checking that out here soon. Now the last movie I showed you there was the very first laser was probably 4:3. Anyways, it's probably 133 to 1 aspect ratio. Or 137 to 1 aspect ratio. The next movie up here is Taming of the Shrew. Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton. I have not seen this, so I'm really interested, even watching it on this quality. Once again, though, this is probably 4:3 aspect ratio. It's not a widescreen. I don't think it sets a widescreen. back in you can kind of tell that these 80s laser discs, but just by the, because I'm sorry I got it covered up, but I think it says like a laser video disc on the back right here. And when you usually see them like that, they're usually full. They're rarely widescreen. The early stuff was just about, I believe they were basically just taking VHS prints and throwing them on. It really took up into the 90s and really the era of Criterion Collection for you to really start seeing the original aspect ratios and the letterboxing and things like that. Um, so it took to the late 80s, early 90s in that period of time. The last one here, I know I'm taking forever talking about this stuff, but this is just a copy of Schindler's List on Laserdisc. I don't think I had a copy of this. And this is obviously a letterbox edition. I'll get in a little closer there so you can see it. Letterboxed. This is got the nice. This is why I like really nice Laserdisc sets with the nice big artwork. These are fold out. These are a folding system where you basically your discs are right there. They come out here. So this is a 2 disc for being a long, for the length of time. As most people don't know, if you don't know Laserdiscs, that Laserdiscs were mostly they would hold 1 hour per side, and any movie beyond 2 hours would have to be on 3 discs. And a lot of times, this movie is 3 hours and 17 minutes, so this takes up 3 sides and partial about half of another side. So it's pretty substantial, and this is what's I'm always bad about the. I always forget. And see, these were like letter. See, this is THX as well. This is a THX copy. So, like in the 90s, you started getting a lot of the really nice, Laserdisc players that had had all the nice home theater hookups to them. So because Laserdiscs were digital audio, so you got like incredible audio on them, but the video was always just a little bit better than VHS. I think they were like, it's around like 300 or something like that. I think VHS is like 280, two in the 200p range, 220p or something like that. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but in Laserdiscs are just like 320p or something like that. They're not much better. So but you did have like 2 different versions. You did have a higher quality Laserdisc out there, but they weren't the higher quality Laserdisc. I'm sorry, I can't think of the top of my head, but those would hold only 30 minutes per side, and they really weren't much better. And then like when you got into like a big movie like Pulp Fiction or something, they're literally like 3 discs or something. It's 3 or 4 discs for the whole movie. So even if you have a player that flips by itself, it flips. It has a carriage in it that'll flip itself over, and so you don't have to get up and flip sides, even though you still have to change a disc like 3 times during the movie. So it's a it was a luxury back in the day to have nice audio and a little bit better video experience, but it really wasn't that much better. But we're going to move on. These are my DVDs from Half Price Books. This one here, this is The Snows of Kilimanjaro. I did leave the stickers on there. It's got like a rough spot in the case. And all these are DVDs, believe it or not. I picked up all DVDs because I picked up a bunch of older movies. And this has Gregory Peck, Ava Gardner, and Susan Hayward in it. So it's a really wonderful cast. And this, I have not seen this movie, so that's why I picked it up. I was getting ready to say, well, I think this is a flipper disc, but it's not. They have them flipped over in half price books so you can see if there's any damage on them. They're usually pretty good at half price books about not buying a lot of damaged DVDs. At least in the last several years, it seems like their quality's been a little bit better. But this is The Snows of Kilimanjaro, Gregory Peck. Looks interesting. The next movie up here is a World War II movie. This is called Anzio with Robert Mitchum. This is a combat collection. I just left the stickers on so you can see how much I paid for them. These are $3.99. It looks pretty good. Screen greats: Robert Mitchum, Peter Falk, and Arthur Kennedy star in the riveting war drama Anzio, a vivid portrait of one of the bloodiest World War II battles in the ever fought. After landing with the Allied troops in Anzio, Italy in 1944, war correspondent Dick Ennis, Robert Mitchum, and Buddy Corporal Randolph, Peter Falk. Excuse me, I'm butchering this all to death because I hate when they put the names all in there. They chop everything up. It makes it hard to read through. I mean, blah blah blah. But it's a war movie, so that's all you got to know. It'll be a pretty good movie. This was directed by Edward Dmytryk. So I'm pretty interested in seeing this. This is anamorphic widescreen, 235 by 1, and 117 minutes long. So this should be interesting. But yeah, Robert Mitchum, Peter Falk. I didn't even look at the picture. Sometimes like they kind of put like Robert Mitchum's face like right in the center, and you don't really pay attention. But yeah, it's obviously Robert Falk on the other side, or Peter Falk, excuse me. And it should be pretty. It'd be fun. I like my World War II movies, and I have not seen that one. I don't think I've seen anything that I picked up. This is an interesting one. Some of this stuff I can probably pick up on Blu-ray, and some, this was like $6 for this. It was kind of high, but this is Hal. This is James Franco as Allen Ginsberg, and Hal is one of Allen Ginsberg's books he read it good. But this is I've not seen this. It's kind of weird when you find these movies because James Franco also played James Dean in the movie, so he's played a couple iconic parts. I don't know a little bit. I know a little bit about Ginsberg. I've read a little bit of Ginsberg, but not a lot. I think I've mainly read some of his poetry back when I was younger and had more interest in the beat poetry area, but it should be interesting. And see, it's got John Hamm in it and Dave Stratham. So that should be interesting. Let's see. I don't know who directed this one. Even with these glasses, my glasses are bifocals, and I still can't read these names in the bottom. But you can't hardly see them. But it was directed by somebody. I don't know. I don't know. I can't read it. If you want to know about it, just hit me up here and I'll tell you a little more about it. Hopefully, I'll get to watch it in the next couple of weeks. I'll try to watch through all these because these are pretty interesting. The next up's another older movie starring Rock Hudson, Ernest Borgnine, Patrick McGoohan, and really cool. And Jim Brown. This is Ice Station Zebra. Here is your back cover. Let's see who directed this. Directed by John Sturges. Wow. Got a winner here. Probably another one I can find on Blu-ray, more than likely, someplace. I don't know. I don't know if the prices went up a little bit. $6 isn't bad. I mean, I know it's used. It's a used copy. It looks like it's in really good shape. And I know I'm not showing you every single one of these, but there's the Ice Case Zebra DVD. Yeah, it's, Ernest Borgnine, Rock Hudson, Patrick McGoohan. If you don't know Patrick McGoohan if you don't know who that is, was the prisoner. That is Patrick McGoohan right there. Wonderful BBC British television show, spy television show of sorts, sort of a spy show. Patrick McGoohan, you can't see it here, I don't believe. I think it's too high up, but he was in also this series as well. Secret Agent Man. It's actually Danger Man in England and Secret Agent in America. That's why it says Secret Agent, aka Danger Man. But the rumor is that I'll tell you a little story here about that real quick. I don't think I've ever talked about it. I should make a video about it, but there's been this is just like an urban legend. I don't think there's any truth behind it. I've never done any research to actually look up see if there's any truth in it, but there's kind of always been like an urban legend saying that at the end of the Danger Man run is what leads into the prisoner, because Danger Man, he basically plays a secret agent, and at the beginning of the prisoner, he's a secret agent who's retiring, and upon retiring, he gets captured by the government, and they take him to this secret island. You really don't know where it is. It's supposedly like a secret island, and they're trying to find out why he's retiring. They think he's retiring for some benevolent reason. I think he's like a spy, or he's a double agent or something. But he's not. He's just really just trying to retire. He just wants to retire. But they capture him, and they're trying to in the prisoner, they're trying to get this information out of him, and that's what each episode is a different episode, is a different person trying to interrogate him and try to find this information. They try to trick him into it, psychological trickery, things like this, different methods. It's an amazing show if you've never seen that. So let's continue on here. This one is just a little kind of a cheesy movie I picked up. I don't know if I have any Sandra Dee movies, but this is If a Man Answers, Don't Hang Up. You see the little tagline there, don't hang up. The Sandra Dee movie here. Bobby Darin as well. The other name is covered up. As it's kind of stuff I liked from the 60s. Movies like that. I assume this is the 60s. It looks like it. Directed by Henry Levin. But this is, it's just a fun movie. It's a Saturday afternoon movie to watch, so it's up my alley. That's what I like. The next one up is, actually, I was talking about James Dean earlier, and I found this movie that I don't think I've seen. This is called James Dean, Race with Destiny. It's got Casper Van Dien and Carrie Mitchum. I have not seen this. Some kind of biopic. I believe it's almost kind of focuses in on this racing that led up to his death. It's almost what way it looks like here, and it looks like maybe his affair with the Carrie Mitchum character here. It looks pretty. It looks pretty interesting. Let's see. I'm trying to see the full class. I think it says it has Diane Ladd's in it as well. So this should be a pretty interesting movie. I'm a big James Dean fan. I haven't yet made a video. I think I will be making a video on Giant here soon. Giant's one of my favorite movies ever. Here soon I'm going to have a series out called, probably going to be called Uncovering Film Classics or Uncovering Classic Films. I don't know what I'm going to call it just yet, but it's going to be a new series I put out, and it's going to probably try to be a weekly series where I start talking to you guys about movies more than I have been, and just instead of doing these presenting new stuff that I'm getting, because what I've always, and I've said this a million times on this channel, what I've been wanting to do forever with this channel is do movie reviews. And I'm not very good at it, so I've got to develop a technique to be able to go at it and for you guys to enjoy. But the first up for that would probably be Giant, more than likely. Something I've wanted to cover a long time on my channel, and a movie I really highly regard as one of, in probably my top 20 of all time. I can only say I have top 20s because I can't really rank movies because I've seen so many movies that just blown the back of my head off, and they're mainly older movies. So I highly recommend older movies. The next movie here, this is The Mystery of Mr. Wong, Boris Karloff. I just picked it up as a Karloff movie. It looked interesting. Detective James Lee Wong, Boris Karloff. Directed by William Hayes. 68 minutes. Being a little dyslexic on that. From 1939. The Mystery of Mr. Wong. Mr. Wong. I wish I had it at arm's length here. I don't know where it is, but I have a Mr. Wong. It's from the if anybody remembers the early days of the internet, well, at least the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a internet channel called icebox.com, and they made all these crazy cartoons. And then if you can find any of those, but Mr. Wong was one of them. They had one called Queer Duck and Rock and Roll Dads. It was Starfleet Regulars, I believe, was one of them, and it was a pretty funny show. The next one here, this is The Mystery of Sherlock Holmes. I do believe this is a documentary, and I know I like my documentaries, and it's a 2-disc set, in fact. Probably need to show you the cover first. There you go. There's The Mystery of Sherlock Holmes. Documentary. I've always liked my documentaries. The next up is a set I actually picked up. The next couple will be sets that I picked up at Half Price Books. This is, I actually have at least, I've got one of these movies. I got The Brain That Wouldn't Die, but this is the Killer Cult Classics for $15. And this is 4 movies. But this is The Brain That Wouldn't Die, The Wasp Woman, Teenagers from Outer Space, and The Killer Shrews. And I just thought this was a cool set. I just went ahead and picked it up. I do have The Brain That Wouldn't Die on Blu-ray. That's the one I have. I don't think I have some of these others, but since I better pull them out of the box and show you guys interviews. The Killer Shrews. It's just cool artwork. Sometimes sometimes I like them for that. The Wasp Woman. This kind of stuff's up my alley. The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Woo! Teenagers from Outer Space. It's possible some of this stuff is on the Mystery Science Theater. The Killer Shrews maybe be on Mystery Science Theater. Brain Wouldn't Die, definitely. The Wasp Woman, I don't see how it's not. And Teenagers from Outer Space, a good possibility. I can't remember. I've got a bunch of that stuff, and I've watched a good chunk of it, but I never can remember everything I have. But a fun little set. I like finding sets like this, especially for decent prices. The next up, actually I have one more that's not a big box set here, and this is just it's 50 episodes, a 4 DVD collection. It's called Mr. and Mrs. North, Barbara Britton and Richard Denning. It's just a television show. I don't know a lot about it. It does say it was a forerunner to Macmillan and Wife, but it's about kind of like a sophisticated husband and wife team, Jerry and Pamela North from Greenwich Village, who work to investigate various crimes and solve them before the police do. So I know there's been a lot of things modeled on these shows like this, but this looks to be a 4-disc set. Pretty nice looking, pretty good shape. I picked it up. I like these old shows, and I think this is going to be a good addition to my collection. The next up is some stuff that is interesting. I believe I can find this stuff on Blu-ray, but they go for kind of quite high prices because they're BBC. These are technically A&E put out these, but these are BBC shows. But these are Agatha Christie's Poirot. It's called the Complete Collection. I will show you something after I show you this here. The box set themselves is in decent shape, except for somebody wrote on all of these. There was other things in the store that I seen that's written on, but they wrote "Dad" on that, and then there's "Dad" written on every one of the sleeves. So, but this consists of Lord Edward Dies, Murder in the Mesopotamia, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, and Evil Under the Sun. It's four basically made-for-TV movies. I'll show you inside of one of them. I don't understand this writing "Dad" on all this stuff. I assume that it almost looks like, it was a family that had a collection together, and they, the father wrote on all of his stuff. So, kind of weird. The next up is another Agatha Christie's Poirot. This is called the Classic Crimes Collection. These are the thin case, though. And this is the same way. They wrote on it. They wrote "Dad" on it. This came from the same person. But this consists of Cards on the Table, Taken at the Flood, After the Funeral, Mystery of the Blue Train. Poirot's kind of just a genius detective, and I think it's in kind of the same lines as Sherlock Holmes and stuff like that. Just kind of these crime stories, kind of a brilliant investigator, kind of a genius investigator solving crimes. That's what Poirot is, and there's been a couple. I think the Murder on the Orient Express. I think it was Murder on the Orient Express is the one that Johnny Depp played Poirot in recently. And then now there's a new one coming out that Johnny Depp's not playing him in, but I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But there's a couple of new movies. They're both Poirot movies, but they're not titled Poirot. They're just titled like the title of like the book, the way the book was written, essentially. All right, let's see what we got up here next. We are going to get into some Amazon stuff. I think the rest of this is most part Amazon, and there's a couple. I'll tell you which ones are eBay when I get to them. And the first up here is a BBC. I like my BBC stuff, and I really got interested in this just because of Dawn French. She is in, let's see here if I can find it real quick, The Vicar of Dibley. This is Dawn French here. And of course it's backwards. It's British. The Vicar of Dibley. And this is the show that her and her comedy partner had out before Vicar of Dibley. She may have done some other stuff. I don't know her full discography or her filmography. But this is French and Sanders. The complete series 1 through 6. This is just basically like this is just a comedy team who do sketch comedy. It's just a sketch comedy show, basically. What I've seen of it so far, I've watched a few episodes, and it's pretty funny. They're pretty funny. Two funny people. It's got a really nice inside like this with all the discs. Now, this is multi-region. This is Region B, so taking advantage of my multi-region player, so it's been pretty nice. Let's see here next. I'll stay in line with British. This next one, I'm pretty sure I got this one through Amazon, but this is the Hammer Film Noir. It's called a double feature, but there's 6 movies. I don't know why it's called a double feature. It's called a double feature. It don't even. It's like, let's see here. It's even 3 discs, so it makes no sense being called a double feature. But it has 6 movies on it, and it's got Bad Blood or Bad Blonde, excuse me, Man Bait, Stolen Face, Blackout, The Gambler, and The Lady, and Heat Wave. I don't know if it's called a double feature. I think there's I think what's a double feature? A double feature set. I think there's 2 movies per disc. There's 6 movies altogether. I think that's why it's called a double feature. It's called a double feature, but it's a double feature set, not just a. Yeah, at the top it says Kit Maker double features. Okay, so that's who Kit Parker double features. It's just, but it's like a collection of double features. Excuse me. I have got to watch Bad Blonde and Man Bait. And I really like British. I really like British noirs. They a lot of times what I've seen is there's some of the most excellent noirs I've seen. They're not saying they're the best, but I'm saying they got some excellent noirs, and these are Hammer. A lot of people don't know Hammer. They know Hammer from horror, but Hammer like kind of started in, well, they started in the 30s, I do believe. Somebody might kick my button. But they started in the 30s, but now obviously in the 40s they were doing some noir, and then they kind of moved on to some sci-fi movies, and then to the horror realm where they kind of got their fame from. But these are excellent movies, and I need to get back on watching these because I've been watching a bunch of other movies, and I've got to get back into this set. The next up is a movie I haven't watched yet. It's from the Black Belt Theater. This is The Snuff Bottle Connection. I have not seen this movie yet. This will be interesting to see. This is from the same filmmakers that ultimately made like the Drunken Master, the first Jackie Chan, and Snake in the Eagle's Shadows. Okay, I had to remember it. It's a Snake in the Eagle's Shadows, and it's like one of Jackie Chan's first movies. It might be his first actual feature movie, and I know he had done some things before then, but it was more dramatic roles that he would not become, that did not make him famous. But this is from the same producer as that. Jackie Chan's not in this movie, but I'm very interested in watching this. I found out that from watching a documentary. I thought, oh yeah, I'll check that out. So that sounds pretty cool. Snuff Bottle Connection. The next up's another DVD here, and I screwed up there. I did have a couple more sets I need to show you, but actually the next set, this is one I picked up. I think I picked this up off of eBay. This is Coupling. It's a BBC series. It's just about, I guess, sex in the early 2000s, just a comedy. It got made into an American show that I don't think lasted very long, and it's the full series. I haven't got into it really yet. I've watched a couple episodes, and they're pretty good. I always thought it's supposed to be funny, so I thought I'd pick it up. I kept seeing the previews for it on other British, and I picked it up, and I just haven't really got into it yet. It's not saying I've got so much stuff to watch right now, so I haven't really got into it yet. So I believe I will. But the next set I picked up here is an American classic set here, and this is the Donna Reed Show. I picked this up off Amazon. I may have got this may have came from eBay. I can't remember if this is eBay or not, but I'm a big fan of these old family TV shows, and this is one I've been wanting for a while. This is the Donna Reed Show, seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and what I've watched of it so far, I like. It's basic. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty I don't know, it's just family situation comedies. It's a sitcom. So, from the 50s, starting the I think that came out in 58, I believe, or 50. Yeah, 58. Run 58 to 64. I might be wrong about that. 58, 59. 5 6. Yeah, it ran to the early 60s. So it's interesting. It's just fun. I like those fun movies like Leave It to Beaver and stuff like that. It's just I don't know why I like that old stuff. When I was a kid, I liked watching that. Watching the Monkeys and Brady Bunch and all that stuff. So I've always been kind of primed to watch that old stuff like that. So it's always I've really enjoyed it. Pretty cool. The next movie I picked up here, and I picked this up for Mikaels Navy, but this is the 3-movie Laugh Pack. It's got Major Payne, Sergeant Bilko, and Mikaels Navy on it. All these movies, I don't know if I've ever. It's been a long time since I've seen Sergeant Bilko. I can't say I haven't seen it, but I just can't remember. I've seen Major Payne for sure, but I just picked this up because I wanted to copy Mikaels Navy, and I couldn't find a copy of it on Blu-ray, so I picked this up, and for some reason I never owned it because I have Mikaels Navy. I can't reach it from here, but I have Mikaels Navy, the full original series, and I really enjoy it. And that's watching that movie is where I like it. It's one of these '90s movies. It has its moments, and it's got its moments of being funny. It's got an interesting cast in it. Bruce, God, I'm blanking on his name, people. Bruce Campbell, he's in there. Weird, Bruce Campbell's in there, and it's just got it's got a interesting cast to it. It's almost like Down Periscope. Now, Down Periscope was a better movie for sure. Down Periscope's definitely a better movie than this, but this movie has, it's I don't know, it's got a few moments in it. I always like that scene where the new admiral or the new I guess he's kind of like the new admiral or his new he's something like that who's come to the island, and he's like making them all line up for the first time, and they're all out of uniform and everything, and he's basically asking them what time you guys got up, and he said, we've been up since the crack of noon, sir. I don't know, as a kid that made me laugh. So that's a funny movie, and I'll probably go back and watch Major Payne and Sergeant Bilko too. I did want to show you guys one thing about this. It's kind of cool though, this set, that they recolored the discs. They're all colored green like the military, so that's an interesting thing about this. But I did pick this up cheap though. I'm pretty sure it's pretty cheap, about $12 or something for 3 movies. So that was a good find. And last but not least here, we will get into my Blu-rays. These are all Amazon finds, I'm pretty sure. We'll start out here with a Walter Matthau movie. This is Charlie Varick, excuse me. Charlie Varick, I screwed that one up, but this is a Don Siegel movie. Don Siegel, I don't know, I guess he kind of got known for doing some action movies, and I don't know what he really done that was. I can't think right off what he done that was really big, but I know he did a lot of. I've watched several noir movies. He kind of came up through the ranks in Hollywood doing like B movies and stuff. So he did some like really good noir movies I've seen, and like it kind of made him who he was. So if he comes to the 70s, he's making this Walter Matthau movie, which was a pretty good movie. And it's got old, I go blank every time. It's got old Mitchell in it here. It's Joe Don Baker. That's what it is. Oh, Joe Don Baker. Mitchell. He's pretty good in this. Joe Don Baker's pretty good in this movie. He's all right. He don't bother me. He just sounds got that. He's got such that. He's like me. He's got that country sounding voice, and it's just kind of overwhelming country voice. So, yeah, this is a fun movie. This is a Kino Lorber as well. So, a lot of the stuff that's here is Kino Lorber. So it's going to be a fun one. All right, the next one up here is a movie I haven't seen yet. I'm pretty sure this is I don't know what this is. I was getting ready to say this is a noir, but I don't think it is a noir. This is just one I picked up because of the interesting cast. This has Doris Day, Rex Harrison and John Gavin, but it's also got Myrna Loy and Roddy McDowell in it. This is Chantilly Lace. No, Midnight Lace. Let's see who directed this one. There's a Martin Melcher in there. I don't know if he was... Can't see who directed it. Directed by David Miller. Pretty cool. Midnight Lace, there you go. The next one, this is not... That also was a Kino Lorber. Next one up is not a Kino Lorber. This is just a movie I haven't seen either, and I've got to sit down and watch some movies this week. I'm getting behind. I bought too much. This is called El Topo. This is Alejandro Jodorowsky. And this is a psychedelic western. Highly recommended to me. I have a great interest in watching this. Don't know a lot about it other than it is a psychedelic western. I know I butchered his name, but I know I got the first name right, Alejandro, but Jodorowsky, I'm sure it's not spelled like it. It's probably Jodorowsky or something like that. I'm sure you can probably skip about 10 of the letters in there and you got the right pronunciation. So, El Topo might be El Culo. Now, it's supposed to be a really good movie. It's like usually on those top 100 list of westerns and things like that. The next one up here was we got a Warner Archives. These are not all Kinos. This is a Warner Archives. This is Stage Fright. I think this come out this past week. I picked it up as Jane Wyman, Marlena Dietrich, Michael Wilding, Richard Todd, and Alfred Hitchcock's Stage Fright. And I don't think I've seen this movie either. I know I've seen a lot of Hitchcock, but I don't think I've seen this one. Pretty interested in watching this movie. Who directed this? No, I'm just joking. Alfonso Hitchcockian. Who is that? This looks pretty good, though. Did I show you guys the back? There's the back. I showed you the back. That this is Warner Archives. Looking forward to watching that. The next up, we do get back into some Kino Lorber here, and this next one is called Witness for the Prosecution. This is a Billy Wilder movie with another Marlena Dietrich. I bought these and for some reason I didn't pay attention to both Marlena Dietrich, but this is not only Tyrone Power, Marlena Dietrich, and Charles Lawton. I think I found out about this from another YouTuber who was talking about Charles Lawton, and I thought, well, I want to check out some of his work, and this is what came up. And I thought, what a better combination is Charles Lawton and Billy Wilder. It's supposed to have been a good combination. This is Kino Lorber. There's your back. What I like about Kino is they print stuff so you can freaking read it on the back here. So, this was directed by Billy Wilder. Duh. This movie is 1957, black and white, 1:16, anamorphic, 1:66:1 aspect ratio. Kino Lorber, and I can't wait to watch this. It should be fun. Next up is a movie I actually got to sit down and watch, and wonderful noir. This is Ida Lupino, Cornell Wilde, Celeste Holmes, and Richard Widmark. Roadhouse. This does not have this. If you're crazy Swayze, if you're Swayze crazy, this is not the movie for you. But you should be watching this movie because this is wonderful. This is Roadhouse. The lovely Ida Lupino, great actress, great director herself. Have the Ida Lupino collection right over here. It's wonderful. This was directed by, directed by Jean Megulesco. For some reason, when I try to mispronounce that, it comes out sounding all Spanishy. And crazy. So this is Roadhouse. Wonderful movie. Richard Widmark in it. I don't really know Cornell. Well, no, I know the face Cornell Wilde, but I don't. I definitely know Richard Widmark. He'd be that, that fellow there, that painted up fellow you can't recognize, and he's been in several other movies I've watched. He's a really good actor. I really enjoy seeing him. Plays a pretty psychotic person in this movie. By the end of the movie, so it's a very good movie. It's essentially, I haven't really been explaining any of these movies. I'm just, I don't, most people don't. I'm just been kind of blabbering on, anyways. But yeah, this movie is basically it takes place in this basically, a roadhouse, a bar type place, and basically, Ida Lupino comes in to be the Richard Widmark character. He hires. He's the owner. He hires Ida Lupino to come in to kind of like play the piano and sing, and essentially the Cornell Wilde character, they both fall in love with her, but she's more in love with Cornell Wilde, and Richard Widmark finds out about this, and he goes kind of psychotic on those two, and in a way, and he basically gets the guy thrown in jail, and he gets him out of jail, but then he's just kind of running his life and trying to kind of run both of their lives, and even though he knows that he's in the wrong about all this. So it's a fun movie. You definitely need to check it out. I don't like explaining too much about movies because I really want you guys to get out and see these movies. I mean, I know you got to buy them sometimes, but it sucks. But, I mean, if you want to see them, it's about the only way you can anymore because, I mean, you might get lucky and catch this on TCM or something, but I don't know. There's the inside of the box if you want to see it. There's nothing special, no flipper art or nothing. Just a great movie. That's all that matters. It's a great movie, and that's why I like my Kino Lorber, because they put out great movies. And last but not least, here is the Kino Lorber film noir, The Dark Side of Cinema 5. I just picked this up. I think it came out a while back, but Dark Side of Cinema 5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and add 5 to this. Looks pretty good. It's got, these are all film noirs, obviously. It's got movie with Lorette Young, Jeff Chandler, Because of You, and a movie called Outside the Law, and got Jack Arnold in it. And the last movie's got Tony Curtis, Marissa Pavin, Gilbert Rowland, The Midnight Story. Very interesting, and I will show you guys the box here. Pretty cool stuff here, and 3 movies. Most of the other sets have been 4. The first was 5. The first had, I think, 5 movies in it, and then the rest were 4. 2, 3, and 4 had 4 movies, and 5 for some reason they put out 3 movies. So they trying to tell me something. They trying to say that the next set's only going to be 2 and then 1. I don't know. I don't know if that's what it's going to be or not, but it's this should be fun. Well, people, ladies and gentlemen, my low IQ nation, I am going to get off here. Didn't tell you guys to like, share, and subscribe earlier. You've probably seen the video camera flash up. And I think I've been recording here for about an hour. And I think I'm going to leave you guys alone and get out of here. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave some comments if you guys have any questions, and follow me. I would appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you later. Talk to you later. Bye.